Alright, this is my second vlog of walking and trying to figure out how to stop this AFib, atrial fibrillation. This is yesterday. It was weird, I walked and it's like there's different triggers that can cause it. Some people don't, it could be random triggers, and some are like lung triggers. Like some people say caffeine could be it. Some people have issues by smoking, drinking alcohol. Sleep apnea is another trigger that could happen. There's a lot of triggers that can happen. I don't want to call it trigger, but the initial time it happened, like I said in the last video, first video, was post-op after getting my gallbladder removed. So, it kind of came up and then started happening for a few days. They gave me some beta blockers that kept my heart rate down, and I was fine for a while. And then it popped up after some other issues I've had, which I could explain later. But it just popped up. Well, I think it was like 8 months later. 8 months later, it popped up at night. My Samsung watch picked it up, saying, "Hey, you got some irregular heartbeats while sleeping. What's up?" And I was like, okay. Well, that sucks. So, anyways, what's happening is. What happens, sorry, I'm just using my track here, the go-kart coming, or a cart coming this way. But what happened is, I don't know, I took some allergy medicines. It was like a bad day, bad week. It was super windy, Santa Ana conditions. And it had, I didn't even pay attention, I didn't know, something called phenylphedrine, I think it was called. And this phenylphedrine, it's like a steroid or something, I don't know what it is, but anyways, I was reading all the details and says it could cause irregular heartbeats. I'm like, great, I should have read it before, but it was really working good. It cleared my nose, my allergies, after trying other stuff. But then I was like, could that be that? So I stopped it. I stopped it in a few days, but the irregular heartbeats kept on going. And then I ended up going. I had a actual sleep study before that, when they were telling me, yeah, the post-op wasn't the issue. It was, you're probably having it before, and it was probably sleep apnea because you mentioned you snored. I'm like, okay. So I went ahead and scheduled one of those sleep studies, and they stick all the stuff on you to check your breathing and everything. And actually, it was funny. I actually had AFib during the sleep study, and the sleep study didn't show any of that. It showed a little bit. They call it PVCs, I believe, PACs, but nothing major. So I was like, could it be actually AFib? Because, is the watch actually correct or not? So I was thinking, okay. So I went to the cardiologist and said, oh, it was true. But the good news is that I actually don't have AFib. So that's a good thing. So there was no AFib. Excuse me, not AFib. I actually don't have sleep apnea. So I didn't have that issue. Sleep apnea is when you're pausing during your snoring or breathing, and that can cause your heart to do some weird stuff too. So I didn't have that, so that was good. Okay, sleep apnea ruled out. What's the cause of AFib? They don't really care. Nobody cares. Nobody knows. Most Western doctors, if you haven't noticed, treat the symptoms. So they'll just give you aspirin or Tylenol or ibuprofen if you have a headache, or if this hurts, get another painkiller. It's mostly rest and waiting or whatever to feel better. So it's like, okay, that really doesn't help me. But I'm just trying to figure this out. And the other thing that's weird is my triggers. Some people get triggers from exercise or doing some stuff, and but I don't get those kind of triggers. It doesn't trigger me like that. I get triggers like if I'm just sitting there and I'm just like relaxing, and then it feels like my heart's like a car with a bad engine or a bad idle, rough idle, just to do like rough, and then you get the car, it'll kind of rev up real high, like it just like high RPMs and goes up and down, like that. That's how I feel my AFib is. And like I said yesterday, I was able to stop it sometimes using like cold water bottle to my neck, or it was really high, like 150 beats per second, I would just kind of do a vagal maneuver, which is kind of like hunkering down, like trying to push, like going to the bathroom, and that would lower it. It wouldn't stop my AFib, but it would lower my heart rate, so I could get down to, you know, under 100 at least. I did a short like that in one of my videos before. And then the other thing was taking a shower. So sometimes I would take a shower, a hot shower, and I think hot showers mess with your blood pressure, right? And that helped it. But yesterday, when I did the first vlog, this is vlog number 2, vlog number 1, I was walking, and about a half hour after this, I was just kicking back, sitting down, boom, AFib. And I tried, you know, a cold water bottle, didn't work. I'm like, okay, you know, that didn't work right away. I can still feel it, my shorter breath, kind of funkiness, a little, not lightheadedness, a little lightheadedness. So I was like, let me take a hot shower. Tried it, nope, 150 beats per minute. So I'm just like trying to figure it out. I forgot to do the vagal maneuver. So when you have all these things in your mind, trying to figure out what's going on, you get distracted, right? Or at least I do. And I was like, oh, I could have tried the vagal maneuver later to kind of just drop it. But my blood pressure, not my blood pressure, my heart rate did go down, but I was still in AFib. And it took about 2 hours. And I was like trying other things, deep breathing, everything else. It didn't work. So it just kind of resolved itself, what they call sinus rhythm. And luckily it did. And it took about 2 hours, which is not bad. Some people have sinus rhythm for days, hours. Mine, I think my maximum was on Thanksgiving Day, if I remember right. Either Thanksgiving Day or Christmas, one of the days. And it was like 8-9 hours. It didn't go away for 8-9 hours. So I was kind of worried, right? And I think that's what exacerbates things, right? You have it, and then you're stressed out, worrying about not getting rid of it, so it doesn't get better. And it just kind of goes on top. So I wasn't trying to figure out how, I was trying to figure out what was doing it, but I couldn't. Anyways, but they keep on saying exercise, right? Exercise. Everything that in your life, like I was reading stuff about dementia and, you know, all these other issues, inflammations and autoimmune diseases and just problems with our body and our health, is exercise. Gotta exercise. And it makes sense, so that's what I'm doing. I'm out here, you know, it's not super crazy exercise, just walking, but I'm doing it. You know what's so stupid? I was like, I was doing it a few months ago, January, and I think it's my shoes, maybe it's my, I don't really do it that often. I hurt my knees, you know, like my knees were so painful that I could barely straighten it and then walk straight. I could stand on it, but bending those knees, whether bending it all the way this way or stretching it this way, locking out, it was bad. So I had to stop for a while. And then I was reading about things about rise, you know, rest, ice, whatever, elevate, like all these different things. But now they're saying use ice, like basically don't rest it, like basically work it out to get the blood flow. So I've been doing that, and I've been stretching, and I think it's helped a lot, which is great. And so it does ache a little bit of walking, but I'm trying to walk, you know, a little bit better. Been looking at things, how to strengthen the legs and things like that. So hopefully I could get those, you know, improvement, you know, because I mean, if I don't walk, my other exercise is rowing, and I'm using my legs. I'm not doing a full range of motion, like lock out my knees or anything, but like that. And I do get my upper body in there, but sometimes I think walking just helps me because it focuses, or helps me maybe not focus, I should say, on my issues. This noise you can hear a little bit, sorry about that. Cars passing by, some landscaper cutting something, blowing something here. You know, those kind of noises helps, because I have also tinnitus. If you didn't see my first video, I talked about it. But it's ringing noise here, you know, noise in my ears. And having those distractions is, you know, you don't want total silence. So it's helped me, you know, just distracting me on that. So I don't know, I'm just trying to figure it out. So that's what I've been doing. I've been walking for a few months. Haven't really lost weight or anything, but I'm hoping my heart health is better. And like I said, what's weird is that I'm blocking this stuff. What's weird is that my triggers when I get the heart issue is not when exercising or starting to exercise. It's actually when I'm resting. So I've been trying to do research about, they call it big O AF, which triggers like opposite. So I don't know. So just my other vlog. Thanks for listening, and we're all in it together. All right, peace out.